But we want to talk about Wisconsin and Rutgers because this was going to be an interesting game. The Badgers coming off that huge offensive explosion against Purdue last week. The Rutgers team coming off a tough loss against Nebraska. Braden Locke to Will Pauling. Check out this double move.
Gotta love the hitch and go in the red zone. Get the ball up, receiver goes and gets it.
Unfortunately, Pauling would leave the game later with an injury, but plenty of firepower elsewhere. How about Tawee Walker? We're going to talk a lot about him. 14-0, Badgers on top. 20 seconds left in the half. Rutgers trying to get on the board, but the kick is blocked. The ball is free. Wisconsin can't scoop it cleanly and has to fall on the ball, and it's just a bad snap.
That's the sound of a block kick, and no special team coordinator likes to hear that sound.
So Rutgers still down 14-0 at the half. Third quarter, same score. Locke launching one downfield. Vinny Anthony, the second in stride. It's a 47-yard pickup, and Darian Dupree would punch it in on the very next play. 549 total yards of offense. Walker, he accounted for 198 of them.
We call that
Badgers win their second game in a row. 42-7 the final. Brooke Fletcher with the winners.
Another team had been struggling heading into Friday night, UCLA. Mick Cronin went ham on his team a couple of weeks ago. They didn't really respond with 4 straight L's, but they responded on Friday against Iowa. Kobe Johnson knocks down the 3. Nice stat line, 9 points, 8 rips, 6 dimes. UCLA jumps out to a 12-point lead. Still first half, now up 14. Johnson to a wide open Sky Clark, part of a 15-0 Bruin run. UCLA would never trail in this game. Dylan Andrews, one of 5 Bruins in double figures. UCLA just pouring it on, up by 23, under 5 minutes to play. We are not done running it up. William Kyle III, look out below. That would officially be a one-handed Thunder Chunky. Bruins had 18 assists in the first half, hadn't reached that number in any of their last 6 games total. They led by 33 at the break. Sebastian Mack getting into the act as well. 94-70, and it wasn't even that close. Looking for an 11th straight win inside the Big Ten and the weekend sweep of Northwestern. Pick it up bottom 3. Jackson Freeman drills one to right off the wall. 2-run score. Cats jump out to a 3-0 lead. Go to the top of the 6th. Iowa down 3-1. Cooper Schulte having himself a year. Hammers one down the right field line. Rolls all the way into the corner. Throw not in time. Schulte advances to third on the throw. It's an RBI double. Hawkeyes down by 1. Next at bat, Ben Wilmus finding a hole under the glove of the first baseman. We are tied up at 3 to the bottom of the 8th. Same score. Trent Liolis clobbers one to right field. An absolute no-doubter as the Cats retake the lead at 4-3 to the top of the 9th. Blake Guerin rips one into the deep left center field. Preston not laying out, but not getting there. Runner comes around to score, and we are tied up once again at 4 to the bottom of the inning. Huffer, we have some drama.
It always ends up this way in Evanston. Great piece of hitting, almost a more spectacular catch, and we have our first walk-off of the weekend.
A top 5 showdown on the ice. Minnesota taking on Michigan State. We pick it up midway through the second period. Game tied at 1 apiece. Joey Larson going to work, sneaks it in. Spartans take a 2-1 lead. Later in the period, same score. Jimmy Snuggerud flicks it past the goalie for his second goal of the period. Getting it done, lighting the lamp. Take another look at this one. Tied up at 2 apiece, this matchup is. Less than 6 minutes to go in the second period, same score. David Gucciardi shot blocked. Tanner Cali somehow puts it home. Spartans back out in front 3-2. We move to under 30 seconds left in the period, same score. Minnesota on the power play. Luke Middlestat gets the puck off the boards. Shot tipped. Somehow the puck floats over the goaltender. Take a look at this. 3-3 now the score after 2 periods. Neither team would score in the third, so this goes to a shootout. Third round of the shootout, Michigan State up 1-0. Isaac Howard, who else, gets it done in the clutch. Game winner for Howard. The teams finish tied 3-3. Spartans win it in a shootout. A national champion was crowned on Sunday in women's water polo. Third-seeded USC trying to knock off the top seed in Stanford. We picked this one up midway through the second quarter. Trojans leading by 1. Alma Jacobi, swarmed by defenders, somehow rips it into the goal. Watch this. Really, really good-looking shot. Trojans now lead by 2. Could they pull off the upset? We move to the fourth quarter. Stanford now leading by 1. Some nice ball movement here. Serena Brown fires one into the net. Cardinal wins the 2025 NCAA Women's Water Polo Championship 11-4.
Well, here we are at the bleachers in Wrigley Field. And they did it. They put a football field in a baseball stadium. Sure, they've done it before, but when it's at Wrigley, it's just cool. Speaking of things that have been done before, but when it's at Wrigley are cool, everybody has a scoreboard, but nothing's as special as the Wrigley Field scoreboard. We're gonna go inside there as we begin our tour. Inside the historic scoreboard. This is Daryl. My man's been running things here since 1991. How is it going to be different when it's a football game as opposed to a baseball game for you?
My. This is a blessing. So relaxed, 15 minutes off. You get to chill for 15, then you put a score in, chill for another 15, put a score in. Compared to baseball, you never sit down.
So you're watching a Cubs game and the manager goes to the pen to get a reliever. He comes out of here. This is the Cubs bullpen normally. However, today, this is where the players are going to be at halftime. It is not that big of a room, but it's gonna work for 15 minutes. Get Jenkins ready. Jenkins, you're up. Deep in the bowels of Wrigley Field is where Ohio State's going to be. This is their locker room for the day, which is normally the Cubs' visiting team clubhouse. It's obviously needing to be bigger because there's a bigger football roster than a baseball stadium, so they added these temporary lockers for all the Buckeyes. Normally there'd be couches there or refrigerators or whatever you need, but they got everything. They got the pads, they got the jerseys, they got the helmets. They're ready to go. So when the players are ready to go to the field, they go down, just a few steps, all the way down here, through the dugout, and then they'll make it to the field. Wildcats are the home team, so they get the home team's clubhouse for their locker room. This is where the Cubs are for 81 days a year, but as you can see, it's now the home for the Cats.
Dylan Gabriel, quarterback, University of Oregon. They call me DG, they call me Dylan, or Old Head. I would describe myself as a competitor. Love winning, love everything that it takes.
That is about as beautiful as it gets. That's what you call dropping it in the bucket.
Dylan Gabriel has been effective.
I came to Oregon because of the long history of winning.
The #1 team in the country, and they looked like it today.
And they feel truly like one of the Goliaths in college football.
I would definitely have to say the athlete that has influenced me the most is Marcus Mariota. He wore number 8 here. I'm now doing it. Being able to do it right where he stood is something that I'm super grateful for and never take lightly. You know, just like I was, looking up to Marcus when I was a little kid, I know there's a little kid right behind me, so I want to do it the right way and make sure they know they got, 2 quarterbacks that have just represented Hawaii in the best way possible.
Gabriel makes a move. He's gone.
Dylan Gabriel shows his running skill.
The most rewarding part of my journey has definitely been the people. I've been around some great people, great coaches, great players, but I think just the relationships you get are lifelong and something that I'll be able to take with me for the rest of my life. Big believer, and if you want to demand things on the field, you got to demand it off, and that's just as whether it's getting together and having a meal together or spending that time and making time for one another outside of mandatory time. I believe that's how you truly build relationships and are able to challenge one another on the field. The most special part is knowing it's my last year, and I never take an opportunity for granted. I think when you run out that tunnel, you obviously know that once you step out on that field, anything can happen, and you appreciate just the journey it has taken to get to this point.
Michigan State is rolling.
Maryland played an outstanding basketball game.
A dominant performance from Wisconsin.
And the Wolverines are on a major roll.
Another complete performance from the Bruins.
Dominating performance for Purdue.
Fighting Illini come out on top.
What a win for the Oregon Ducks.
Cannot wait to hold that bracket in our hands on Selection Sunday.
Iconic Wrigley Field, now dubbed the Frozen Confines, as the Big Ten takes over for the next 2 days. Batter up, Big Ten. We're off and skating here inside Wrigley Field. It's deflected in! Ohio State, they get a late one. First game of the Frozen Confines goes to Ohio State. Ready for the nightcap between Penn State and Notre Dame. This will be settled in a shootout. Hellewell, it's a goal. He beats him. Penn State trying to answer. Notre Dame, they get the big stop.
First outdoor women's hockey game at this historic stadium. We will move on to the shootout here at Wrigley Field. Ohio State wins at Wrigley Field over number 1.
It's a perfect bow to put on this 2-day series. What a matchup, Michigan State and Wisconsin. Badgers looking for the tying goal. Their net is empty. Tipped in front. Holy cow! Mosley and the Badgers tie it. Here in Chicago at Wrigley Field, sudden death overtime. Russell shoots, scores! Ball game!
110-year-old building to host some fantastic college hockey.
When the game starts, nobody owns that trophy. Nobody has possession. Trophies are nice, but it's all about the possession. It's not so much about the trophy.
That was one that evaded us for a long time.
The Floyd of Rosedale Trophy will reside for another year in Iowa City.
And we finally got that one.
The returner waved his left hand, which is an invalid fair catch signal.
PJ Fleck, for the first time in his career, lays ownership to Floyd of Rosedale.
The Floyd Trophy is like the most meaningful.
Look at Johnson go! Nobody's gonna catch him! Touchdown, Iowa!
Myself growing up in Minnesota, that's what I watched. Every time it was on, that game is on, and we're cheering for Minnesota.
Tough, hard-nosed, Big Ten football.
Taylor on his feet! What a run!
Knowing that we don't have the trophy anymore is a big thing.
To see Floyd back at our facility is, we want to keep him there, put it that way.
We got a fun one next week under the lights. Fight for the hog.
My guy, Luke Goody. Then my other guy, Anthony Leal. My guy, Desmond Claude.
Trey Howland. That's my boy. Oh, that's my boy.
A good day to be Rayfield Davis. You're now my guy.